So let me introduce my second research, Symbiotic Hand, a virtual reality interactive system that traveling from the reality to physical to reality. And let me do an basically introduction of our research. So when we use the VR devices, especially the headset, and we use these two kind of controllers, and which can control everything into the VR devices system. And our research is try to add some sensors into this controller and also the headset. And based on this kind of activity and research, we can change the inside VR content based on kind of sensor data. So our contribution is we proposed a physical interaction system by transforming data created in the actual world, such as temperature, like pressure, and to the virtual world. And we presented a physical interaction system in the virtual world environment. It's artists using data from a real world, realize the relationship between the virtual and actual world. And I'll give an example, like when we feel really hot and the temperature is getting high in the real space, and the virtual environment will change to summer. So this is kind of our research try to add a sensor to filling the outside environment to change the inside content of the environment of the VR environment. So more individual, my utility is the physical system to create the creativity experience, especially in art experience, contemporary art experience on the web by expanding the interfaces capability through the data interface, which is not just restricted to the construction of the bottom-based interaction. So here is example photos, and from the left to the right, which shows spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So there are different kind of temperature from 10 centigrade to 30 degrees, and which is the process can change the environment of the VR, the environment inside the VR headset. And for example, like when we have a VR headset and outside, we use a lighter to hide the temperature of the our sensor, and the inside will from the spring go to summer. So we have a specific exactly temperature to emphasize this different stage. And so our related work, we have some research work related to this kind of research, which include the virtual reality and web, try to combine this kind of together. And also we have an interactive web artwork, which also belongs to the contemporary art, definitely, and also the tangible web. There are several research to talk about this kind of activities, but I'm not gonna give too much detail of the relative works. But what we're gonna do is try to combine this kind of physical and virtual together. And the system design and the software we're gonna use, we use a Unity and combine with Arduino and a lot of different sensors. So this is a kind of a launch pad. Like we add a lot of different sensors into the launch pad, which attach to the VR headsets. And when the temperature and the wet degree have a different change, and the inside environment will have a huge difference. And the hardware we are using is VR devices, sensor, and different kind of accessories. And this is a process of how to play with this kind of system. And we start to trigger the sensor. And after trigger the sensor, there are kind of data transform into the VR devices, and the VR devices have a environmental change. So this experience give audience, and I mean the user has a really different experience, like why I changed the physical environment data, and the inside environment has a different view So which is give the audience a really good experience. So here is the video, but depends on the presentation because I don't put too much high quality. So this is kind of a low quality preview. And during the temperature is getting changed, and this kind of virtual environment is also getting changed.
Interactive device. Tangible Web. Tangible Web is a virtual reality interactive device which can be connected to various sensors such as temperature, humidity, flame, etc., and affect the content presentation in VR device us through sensor data. This way, the interaction between users and virtual artworks will diversify. For example, when users gradually warm the sensor with their hands, the scene in the VR device will also change with the temperature.
Yes, so here is the implementation part, and we use web language, HTML and JavaScript, and try to add the web VR API and sensors and WebGL together. And we use our PC, Unity, Arduino sensors as the input devices, including the controller and the VI devices, and the output devices, which is a display on the web and display on the VR on the headset and the VR sense of the headset. And the right side is the working process. And when we heating the sensor, I only use the temperature as example, but we have a different functions. And also this is controllable, and you can add more sensors depends on your own options. So it's a kind of authoring tool. It's not only concentrating the temperature and the humidity, and you can add a different sensors like light sensors or different sensors, and to change the environment designed by yourself. So this is a more like authoring tool. It's not only a single track artworks. So sensors definitely we are using in the art creation, such as smoke sensors or electronic sensors and motion sensors or motion capture or something else. So I think we're gonna add more this kind of different sensors to creating more interesting scenarios and help the audience to get more immersive, as you mentioned before, immersive experience. So I think all things that we are do from the basic technology is try to enhance the interactivity and the playable of the art piece in the virtual reality. Thank you for listening. Do you guys have any question?